Hi, I'm DeeDee Garcia Blase with the Tequila Onda radio show. I'm your host, and I have a very special guest tonight. He's an actor that goes by the name of Edgar Arreola. Edgar, are you on the line?
Absolutely, Didi. Good evening. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for appearing on the show. And what I want to do is I just sort of want to read some of your bio from the IMDb website so that my audience has a gist of who you are.
Absolutely.
Okay. Basically, Edgar was born on September 11th. He is the oldest of three children from a traditional Mexican family. He started his acting career in 2003 and has participated in numerous projects. He is winner of Best Actor Award, EDOC 2007. Manuel, correct? You played Manuel?
That is correct, yes.
In Worth the Fall, which was played at the Cannes Film Festival. Edgar has had the privilege of working with many great actors, including Golden Globe winner Denzel Washington. He's one of my faves. Mark Wahlberg, yes. Paula Patton, Edward James Olmos in Two Guns. He also starred with Danny Trejo, also known as Machete. Michelle yes. Rodriguez, Jessica Alba, and others in both Machete and Machete Kills. Also with yes. Kevin Sorbo in Walking Tall, Lone Justice, and numerous others. Edgar has had the privilege of working with many great... Oh, wait, I've already did that. Where am I at? You know what I'm missing? You've actually played in one of my favorite movies, the first Sicario.
Oh, yes. It was an awesome movie. And the cast, it was absolutely wonderful to work with.
Now, I remember watching the scene where it appears that, okay, so basically you have the assassin carrying a 5-gallon of water, but you know, you're there tied up in the chair in the scene of Sicario, and there's some grunting noises, but we don't know exactly what's going on in the room. I mean, is that intentional? Was that so that we could think of the most horrible things in our minds, or what's?
Yes, because every person is going to, for starters, every person is going to have a different perception of what's happening over there, you know. But the only thing that I can tell you, I was waterboard, and unfortunately, after Benicio being so close to me, he pushes me down. But it must have happened something in the editing room that they realized that the scene or that portion shouldn't be there, and to make it more dramatic, they just left it as that. You know.
Because I mean,
but yeah, this question is been asked to me hundreds of times, you know, and the only thing I can think of is just makes me laugh, because every person, as I mentioned earlier, has different perception of what's going on, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, for what? I was having fun, you know."
Okay, so then that was intentional, because what happens is there's a camera angle and it points at the drain, and then Benicio is carrying the 5-gallon water, and then
correct.
Yeah, the worst goes, like, we're like, is he making him perform is he making him perform sexual acts, or what the no?
That's for dirty-minded people.
No,
you know?
I know. And so, but you know what the thing of it is why wouldn't they show some of the waterboarding, you know? So it's kind of like, no, it's got to be the waterboarding. It's got to be the waterboarding. So
what happens is that sometimes as audience, we forget what's going on at the time that we are filming or shooting. And by the time we are going to release a movie, something already happened that they're like, you know what, I don't think it's time for us to do this or to release that. And so better cut it and put something else.
And then, so I was scrolling through your IMDb information, and you look just as rough as Danny Trejo in Machete. I mean, what's with the look? Because I've noticed some comments on the page, and one
Right.
of the comments was "Peínate," comb your hair. It was
Right.
hilarious, and I don't know if they don't understand that that's the look that you're going for to play some of these
Right.
roles. Why do you look rough in that one photo where your hair needs to be combed?
Well, first of all, let me clarify the comment that this person did. Fernando is a very close friend of mine,
Uh-huh.
and we are always teasing each other. So that is why he said "peínate," you know. But you have to understand that as an actor, we always go for different looks, and whatever is on demand at that particular moment, we continue it for certain period of time. For instance, right now, you probably seen in my IMDb my current look, and nothing to do with the picture that you are referring to. Right now, I'm a clean cut, clean shaving, short hair, and yeah, I look different.
Okay, so let's get right down to the nitty gritty. What made you start
Okay,
your acting career in 2003? And for my audience, you live in Texas, right?
that is correct.
Okay.
Yes. Listen, my career when actually it started exploding was in 2003. Before that, I was already trying to do it like any other actor, but my career started going forward that particular year. So I always say I started that year because if you think in retrospective, 2003 to 2018, well, it's not that much time if you think about how much I have done, you know? And that's why I put 2003. But the bug for film and TV started when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And that was when my dad had bought a 8 millimeter video camera back then, which, by the way, I would give anything to get my hands on that film, because between my friends in elementary school, we pitched in to buy a roll of film, but it never got developed because we didn't have the money to develop it. But I've been with the bug for a long, long time. And on my IMDb, you see 2003 because people is more interested of it. When is it that you actually started going forward with your career? Many people don't like many details. So only when the opportunity arises, as with you, is when I explain a little bit more about it.
So you never did develop that film then?
No, we never did. And I think, I don't even know where it went, you know.
Who had it
I
last,
was
do you know?
my dad.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I wonder where
My
he put
dad,
it.
and I don't know. And I would love, seriously, to get my hands on that draw, but I don't even think exists anymore, you know. We're talking about a few years back.
Oh.
You know, so.
What current projects are you working on, and when can we see them?
Well, Blaze, for instance, I was directed by Ethan Hawke, and which is an amazing director, by the way. And this movie is already out, being in select theaters. It's called Blaze.
Uh-huh.
It's about Blaze Foley. He was a singer back in the late 60s, early 90s, 70s, I mean. And it was directed by him. I was also working with Tom Hardy, and back in, in this year, early this year, directed by Josh Trank in a movie that is called Fonzo.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great project, talking about the last days of Al Capone when he started going or suffering of dementia, you know. But it was an awesome film, you know, an awesome project. And also, there is pretty soon is going to be released another movie that is called Papi Chulo.
Oh, another
and that
one?
Yes, another one. It's called Papi Chulo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be released later this year. That movie was with Boomer, and Wendy McLeod. And by the way, I already worked with Wendy McLeod in speech and debate back in, I think, 3-4 years ago. And that girl is amazing. She's so funny to work with. Yeah.
Was that filmed in Texas or in California, Papi Chulo? The one that's going to be released
Papi Chulo was filmed in California,
so
Los Angeles area.
do you have to do a lot of traveling back and forth to Texas?
Yes. Most of the time I'm out of town and traveling. Most of the projects are in different areas from where I live.
Out of all of the high-profile actors, who did you enjoy working with the most? I mean, I see Mark Wahlberg. I'm looking at your IMDb account. Benicio, Denzel Washington. Do they pretty much act like the character that they play, kind of? Or, you know what I mean? Are they totally different?
Yeah, I have to tell you that contrary of what people believe, they are very, very down to earth and very nice people. Every single one of the actors that you mentioned, I have nothing but good things to say about them. And yeah, I mean, off camera, all of us were joking and we were behaving like kids and playing pranks to each other and talking about family, talking about personal issues and all that stuff. So no, they're awesome people to work with.
What inspired you to conduct and be in the business of acting?
I have always been a performer of some sort since I was a kid. I always liked to make people laugh. I always liked to people to be intrigued, and without me knowing, I was basically acting, you know. And that is what, when I found out actually what acting was all about, and I was like, I want to do that. And I was like, I can do that. And of course, I was 9 years old. I can do anything when I was 9, you know.
Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
In 5 to 10 years, I see myself doing exactly the same thing I am doing right now because I love it, and I probably gonna die when I am on a set.
No way.
I love doing.
No, don't say that.
No. It's a figure of speech, meaning that I love my job. I love my job, and I think I'm going to continue doing it until I die. You know, I mean, I wish I can be like Betty White, for instance. You know, I mean, look at the energy that she has on the screen. Look at the energy that she brings to the rest of the cast. I want to be like her, you know. And of course, it's going to be more than 5 to 10 years, but I want to continue this career, and I want to see that my guys from the studio, that they develop the same passion and they develop the same attitude that I have for acting, the love and the passion for acting.
Those in my audience, I just wanted to let you know who I'm interviewing. I'm interviewing Edgar Arreola. He is an actor, and he's been hard into acting for a long time, particularly since 2003 when his career really took off. Ordinarily, I would post a photo in the background of this video recording, but we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. Again, I'm interviewing Edgar Arreola, actor, who's appeared in several different movies, such as Sicario movie, Two Guns. Real quick, you also did some work with not Edgar, but James Olmos, Edward James Olmos.
Yes. Edward James Olmos, yes.
what was that experience like? I know he's playing the dad in the Mayans Motorcycle Club television
Yes.
show.
Mm-hmm. And you know, his personality of being a dad and kind and very straightforward to the point, he has that a little bit on set. You know, he's always trying to help the younger actors. And you have to understand, when I mean younger, I don't mean age-wise, but I mean career-wise, you know. And he is very friendly person, very down to earth. And I mean, I've been blessed and lucky, if you would, to work with the people that I have worked, because one of the things I think that they have gotten to where they are because they are very down to earth. They are people. They are like you and I, you know, like anybody else. You know, if they probably weren't as big of an actors as they are or movie stars as they are, they probably will continue doing what they're doing. You know, I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, I don't have any proper words to describe that what it means to work with these actors. It's an amazing feeling. At first, it's intimidating, but once you talk to them, you realize that they are just another person.
Absolutely. Looks here like you've played in several different episodes, particularly in is it Wooden Woman?
Yeah. Yes.
Does it matter for you whether or not you play in television roles or in movies?
Not particularly, because each one of the projects, believe it or not, whether it's TV or several different TV series or several different movies, the craft is there, the passion is there, and it's just a different feeling. It's just a different experiences, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It says here in your bio that you would like to begin a foundation. Why is that? What kind of foundation do you want to begin?
You know, being Mexican or from Mexican descent, there are a lot of rural areas, and so it's over here, that kids are not receiving the proper medical care as they should. It seems to me that in certain areas of the world, not only in the U.S. or Mexico, but in the all over the world, they're forgetting that the kids are our future. Because 10, 20, 40, 50, 100 years from now, we're not going to be here. And those kids are the ones who are going to continue carrying life, you know. Many people don't understand when somebody says kids are the future. Well, yeah, because they're going to grow older. I don't believe that. I mean, for them to be able to grow older, they need to have the proper care. And I would love for the foundation to be able to help, for instance, St. Jude, trying to help them to find a cure for leukemia, cancer, and not only for kids. I mean, of course, we're going to be benefited by it also as adults. But the most important thing is just to help kids and give them a chance and opportunity of life.
Now, one of your passions is cars, according to your bio.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
why? Did you have a mechanic in the family? I know I did. My grandfather was a mechanic and owned a gas station.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
where did your passion for cars come from?
My dad had a construction company, and every summer I would go and work in his company, and I always liked to be around the mechanics over there, and that's how the passion started. It started for the mechanics of the vehicles, or internal combustion engines, if you would. But then I hold a degree as mechanic engineer, and that's where the passion is from about cars. I love to race cars. I appreciate every single thing of a car. I mean, that's, I think, where the passion came from. My dad is the one who taught me about mechanics, about cars, about big machinery.
So you would really like to be on Too Fast, Too Furious, one of those movies then?
Yes, if nothing else, I would love to do the stunts. They look like a lot of fun.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being on our show, and thank you for giving us some of your background history with regard to your career, and also letting us know what you would like to do to help other people, such as children and the elderly in the rural areas who are not receiving appropriate care. That really speaks a lot for you. Do you have anything inspirational that you would like to say, that you would like to pass on to my audience? And again, to my audience, I am speaking with Edgar Arreola, who is an actor and has appeared in numerous movies and television shows. Would you like to pass anything on as your final words?
Wow, there are so many things I would love to share, but
yeah,
one
take
of the
the time.
most
Take your time.
Thank you. Wow. I would say that every single one of us have a talent. Every single one has a passion for something, and not to be discouraged ever for whatever other people say, because if you discourage easily for what other people say, you're never going to achieve what you want. And, keep positive attitude all the time. Try to find the good out of the bad, because there is always something, at least one thing good out of all the bad. Smile all the time. Make someone smile, because after all, a smile is free. And all of us can give one smile to someone. And you don't know, maybe you can change their life.
Who was the person that changed your life?
My dad. Always my dad.
How so?
I mean,
let's expound.
Well, my dad, unfortunately, as a prelude, my dad just passed away last year in January. And it was very hurtful. Thank you. But my dad always taught me to work hard, taught me many different things. In fact, I was telling a couple of my students, one of those things that stuck for life in me was that it's better to be stupid once in your life and not the rest of your life, which I didn't understand it at first. But I came to realize later on that what he meant is that when we don't know something, it's better to ask that question right there and then. That you may look for somebody stupid or ignorant or whatever you like for asking certain things that other people already know. But it's better to be one stupid and not the rest of your life, because if you never ask, you will never know the answer, and you're going to continue the rest of your life being ignorant of what it was said once. So I'm always asking questions.
Good. All right. Well, thank you for for being a guest on our show. And again, to my audience, I am speaking with Edgar Arreola, who has been in several movies and television shows. He's an actor, and look for his movies that are coming out. Papi Chulo in 2019, and you said Blaze, right? What was it?
Blaze is already out, yes, and Fonzo is coming up soon.
Okay. Fonzo is coming up
Tom
soon.
Hardy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to be watching out for you. And again, make us proud and continue to do what you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you, DeeDee, for inviting me. Thank you very much to Frecuencia Alterna for the invitation. And keep in touch, guys.
All right.
Thank you, DeeDee.
You're welcome. Thank you. Now, just to wrap it up, I want to, we're going to go from Texas back to Phoenix, Arizona. Locally, if you own a lowrider, there is what is called the East Valley Kickback Trunk and Treat. It's the 5th annual Trunk and Treat, which is going to be held Friday, October 26th, 2018, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., and it's put on by the Rollers Only Car Club. That is going to take place Friday, October 26th on the northeast corner of Arizona Avenue and Ray Road in Chandler. And there's going to be some awards that will be given for the best trunk display and awards for the best costumes. And also, they're going to be doing a little bit of fundraising for a cancer victim there. And just a shout out again to Rollers Only Car Club. They are really taking the lead in helping us get out the vote, sending out reminders as we cruise to the polls. So a shout out to Rollers Only and Jose Gonzalez. Again, I'm DeeDee Garcia Blase with the Tequila Onda show. Thank you for listening. Next week, we will have musician Daxton, who is from California, and he will let us know how his music career is coming around. And also, we will be having Jose Gonzalez with the Rollers Only Car Club. Thank you again. Osvaldo says hello and goodbye. Thanks for listening.